Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome back to the Infowars Nightly News. Now, our final two segments, we're going to be joined with a professor, and he holds 2 doctorates, and he works out of the International Academy for Regulatory Medicine and Consciousness Research. There should be some pretty interesting information. He's also going to have a translator, and due to the time constraints, we may edit out some of the translation portion of this. But without further ado, let's go to our interview. Hi, Professor Edinger. Thanks for joining us here on the Infowars Nightly News. Please give me a brief introduction of yourself and the International Academy of Regulatory Medicine and Consciousness Research, and describe how what you call as space medicine, how it basically works and how you're using these concepts today, and what attracted you to the space medicine concept.
Ich bin Neurologe, Psychiater, Psychotherapeut und Professor für Regulations- und Raumfahrtmedizin.
Well, I am Professor Edinger. I'm a specialist in neurology, psychiatry, psychotherapy, acupuncture, psychoimmunology, energy and space medicine, travel, and energy medicine.
Ich habe vorher eine ziemlich schulmedizinische Laufbahn gehabt und bin nach ungefähr 20 Jahren auch als Chef von einer Klinik ausgestiegen aus der Schulmedizin.
Yeah, I was actually working as a conventional medical practitioner and 20 years, almost 20 years, and right now since 2003 I'm working as an alternative medical practitioner.
Ich habe dann zum Beispiel die Redox-Analyse kennengelernt. Das ist ein Verfahren, mit dem Sie 7 Jahre vorher schon sehen können, was eigentlich dann sein wird. Nicht einfach so übersetzen.
I have also come to know about a redox analysis, which actually can tell you in advance, in fact 7 years in advance, what kind of illnesses you are expecting after 7 years.
Und können exakt berechnen, welche Supplements man dem Menschen eigentlich geben kann, um den optimal auszugleichen. Der Wandlungseffekt liegt bei über 80%.
And you can exactly predict and give the right minerals and vitamins to compensate and balance the health situation and to bring back the person back to normality.
Nur das übersetzen, was ich sage, nicht was hier steht. Ist egal. Okay, und also das war jetzt eines der Verfahren, was mir sozusagen das Leben gerettet hatte. Also ich hatte schwere Magengeschwüre, die Blutungen hörten nicht auf und nach Gabe im Prinzip dieses Pulvers, was hier verschrieben wurde, stand das Ganze nach 3 Wochen einfach still.
Yeah, as I already said, I had this intestinal and gastric ulcer, and it is one of these processes which really helped me out, and I become healthy. And when you become healthy again, due to a completely different course of treatment and after conventional medicine and some of the real honest efforts from conventional friends, really couldn't help any longer. You of course search for alternatives.
Also das heißt also, ich war schon sozusagen nach dieser Erkrankung eigentlich mit beiden Füßen schon im neuen System drin und hatte auch die Hilflosigkeit des alten Systems erkannt.
After getting treated by this alternative way of medicine, I was actually in research how this actually works, and since then I am practicing alternative medicine.
So, und hatte dann das Glück, dass die rechte Hand des obersten Weltraumchefs, also dieser Professor Bajewski, den Dr. Kutschera dabei hatte, der dann etwa 4,5 Jahre in meiner Praxis war.
And I had this luck, I was lucky enough to work along with Professor Bajewski and Dr. Kutschera for 4 years.
Kutschera hatte 30 Jahre lang die ganze bemannte Raumfahrt sowohl biophysikalisch als auch vor allem biochemisch und als Internist betreut.
Dr. Kutschera has actually taken care of the biophysical and biochemical systems for over 30 years.
Also biochemisch, biophysikalisch und internistisch betreut.
He also has worked in internal medicine for over 30 years.
Aber übersetzen wir es sagen. Ja. Und und das heißt also, ihm ist eigentlich zu verdanken, dass Leute wie Poljakov zum Beispiel nach 437 Tagen im Handstand die Raumkapsel verlassen haben.
Yeah, and he is one of the main personalities who actually took care of Dr. Polyev Kiev, who actually safely came back to Earth, both healthy and regenerated after 437 days in orbit.
Das heißt, mich hat natürlich immer interessiert, was haben die mit diesen Leuten angestellt? Das war so weit von der schulmedizinischen Vorstellung her und ich hatte dann das Glück, auch entsprechend von dem, der Poljakov medizinisch trainiert hatte, nämlich von Professor Sakriatsky unterrichtet zu werden.
Yeah, and I was really curious enough to know what they actually was doing with these cosmonauts because it was nearly impossible for them to come back so healthy back from orbit. So I had this luck to work along with Professor Zagriatsky, who is also my teacher, and then come closer to the space medicine.
So, und das hat mir im Prinzip den Atem verschlagen, was die gemacht haben. Das heißt, die haben sich komplett der Natur angeglichen, weil sie gemerkt haben, auch aufgrund der amerikanischen Versuchsreihen, dass man so ein kompliziertes, unglaublich schnelles System wie den Körper, dass man den nicht einfach mit Medikamenten behandeln kann.
And I was very much surprised the way they are treating the person. A human being cannot be looked at in an isolated matter. He's always a part of a total continuum. Unlike the American system or the Western system, treating a person on the basis of the symptoms.
Adrenalin hat noch andere Vorzüge. Zum Beispiel ist Adrenalin der stärkste Stimulator überhaupt des Immunsystems. Deshalb haben Krebspatienten auch ganz wenig Adrenalin.
Adrenaline is the strongest stimulator in our body system, and for the very same reason, tumor patients are having lower levels of adrenaline.
So, und das heißt, man kann eigentlich sagen, sobald ich einen Adrenalinmangel habe, bricht unser System nach und nach funktionell zusammen.
That means if we have a lower level of adrenaline hormone, the whole system is going to break down.
Es gibt noch ein paar andere spannende Sachen, die passieren, wenn Adrenalin hochgefahren wird aus der Nebenniere. Das heißt, wir aktivieren dann auch automatisch zum Beispiel Cortison gegen Entzündungen.
We are also activating cortisone hormones against infections.
Oder zum Beispiel die Hormone, die uns verjüngen, also beispielsweise Testosteron, Östrogen, DHEA.
We also try to promote and induce hormones which actually helps us in anti-aging, such as testosterone, osteosterone, yeah.
So, und vor allem geht es auch darum, dass wir einen bestimmten Strom in den Zellen haben. Das hat man in der Raumfahrt sehr wohl erkannt. Und wenn dieser Strom zusammenbricht, das heißt, wenn unsere Zellmembranen bei 15 Millivolt liegen wie bei Tumorzellen, dann haben wir keine ausreichende Energiebildung mehr.
There's this current in our body which is very vital, and if this is below 15 millivolt, body is not going to function properly.
Wir haben zum Beispiel verschiedene Systeme, die der Raumfahrt praktisch entnommen sind, um genau diese Kapazitäten wieder nach oben zu bringen.
We have several systems derived from space medicine which really help us to regulate all the system and bring us back to the normal stage.
Man muss sich vorstellen, also in der Raumfahrtsituation, während Sie alle 1,5 Stunden bei 80 Dezibel auf den Ohren die Erde umkreisen.
Yeah, you have to imagine in space, astronauts and cosmonauts were subjected to loud noises of up to 80 decibels.
Und absolute Biorhythmusstörungen haben, das heißt also auch Serotonin kaum noch aktiviert wird.
There was a complete disruption of biorhythms.
Und die Zirbeldrüse kaum noch aktiviert wird.
Yeah, and the serotonin couldn't be activated properly.
Haben wir im Prinzip eine Masse von Zellschrott.
And which results in a series of disorders and diseases.
Und das heißt also, normalerweise bilden wir pro Sekunde bis zu etwa, man kann sagen, 7 Billionen Zellen. Die müssen durch 30.000 Enzyme, die koordiniert werden müssen, im Prinzip neu gebildet werden und andere müssen auch zum gleichen Zeitpunkt an bestimmten Stellen wieder abgebaut werden.
So that means we have 7 billion cells in our body, and there are 30,000 enzymes which has to be changed and replaced in every second.
Going back to symptoms, Professor Edinger, it seems like Western medicine, that's all they concentrate on is just treating symptoms, especially when it comes to chronic illnesses. They're not really looking at the cause. Now, how is that different than what you're doing over at your academy?
Gut, also das Wichtigste ist natürlich dieses auf organischer Ebene, wir haben verschiedene Ebenen, auf organischer Ebene erstmal dieses Gleichgewicht zwischen Sympathikus und Parasympathikus.
Well, the main important thing is to work on we have 3 different levels in the body, and the first level is organic level, and to have a balance between sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system.
Man muss sich vorstellen, dass dieses unterbewusste autonome System im Prinzip fast 99% des Körpers steuert und natürlich in diesen Notfallsituationen sowieso.
So you have to imagine that the unconscious part in us are actually controlling us for the 99%, and the rest of the 1%, we just have control over the rest 1% in our body.
Das heißt, einen zweiten Punkt, den ich noch erwähnen sollte, ist zum Beispiel, dass erstens schon mal die Zirbeldrüse eines der gewaltigsten Organe ist, um eine 1000-fach stärkere Heilkraft zu haben, wenn wir die Solarstrahlen über die Zirbeldrüse in den Körper hineinbekommen.
A second point I would like to mention is that the pineal glands are the strongest glands in our body to make changes in our body. If sun's rays are being passed through these pineal glands, there is this enormous effect of getting healthy.
1000-mal stärker durch die Zirbeldrüse als durch die Kräfte des Körpers.
It's 1000 times more powerful than having this radiations through the body.
So, und die Untereinheit dieser Wellen, das weiß man seit 1905 eigentlich schon, das ist nur in den letzten Jahren bestätigt worden, sind sogenannte minus- und plusgeladene Quanten, das sind die kleinsten Einheiten des Bewusstseins.
When we talk about quantum physics, we have in our body positively charged quanta and negatively charged quanta.
Diese minusgeladenen Quanten, die zu 2/3 im Kosmos vorkommen, machen uns gesund. Das heißt, sie machen eine sogenannte Entropie, eine Ordnung und verjüngen uns.
The negatively charged quanta, which actually contributes to our health, which are beneficial to our health, comprises almost 2/3 of the cosmos, and it regenerates us.
Es gibt 2 tolle amerikanische Studien der Southwestern und der Stanford University, die zum Beispiel Traumata darstellen konnten in allen Körperzellen durch sogenannte pathologische Zellbilder.
There's this amazing study in the
Stanford und Southwestern
and Stanford universities, where they say
die also nachweisen konnten, dass wir praktisch Traumata in Form von pathologischen Zellbildern verarbeiten.
Trauma is arising from the cell pathological conditions.
So, und dadurch entstehen zum großen Teil dann Versäuerungen und Entzündungen, weil diese traumatisierten Zellen die Kraftwerke der Zellen entkoppeln, also die Mitochondrien.
These pathological cells are the reasons for demineralization and the destruction of our immune system.
How long have you been treating patients at your facility, and what are the varieties of I guess, illnesses or conditions people are coming in with and that you're having success with in treating them?
Also wir behandeln im Prinzip alle Erkrankungen. Natürlich gibt es gerade in der Regulationsmedizin Schwerpunkte. Zum Beispiel ganz vorne stehen sicherlich auch schwere Infektionserkrankungen und Allergien.
Yeah, we are usually treating all kind of patients, but we do have lots of patients with infections.
Dann natürlich auch psychische und neurologische Erkrankungen, internistische Erkrankungen.
Also patients with neurological disorders and internal problems.
Sehr viele Tumorerkrankungen.
Really high quota of tumor patients, cancer patients.
Viele kranke Kinder mit allen möglichen Erkrankungen.
Various children with lots of illnesses.
Das heißt, nach WHO gibt es eine ICD-10. Das sind alle Krankheitsbilder dran. Das ist
according to ICDS, all the 21.
Diese hier.
Yeah, all the 21 illnesses which were being treated by us had an 84% of improvement. That means 8 times better than in a conventional medicine.
Wir konnten diese Verfahren in Deutschland nur in Teilen etablieren, weil auch wir natürlich ein problematisches System hier haben, das sowas nicht gerne sehen würde.
So we can also we can't implement this kind of therapy in Germany because we do have a really hard system of medical system here, and we do have a big problem of introducing
Aber
this kind
ich
of
meine,
therapy.
das kennt ihr sicherlich auch von der FDA in Amerika.
So you would be knowing that from the FDA in America.
So I definitely agree with what you're saying about the FDA in regards to stagnating health development here in this country, and I can only imagine what you're going through in Germany. But let's look at smart meters, cell phones, and Wi-Fi. These are kind of invisible forces that seem to be causing all kind of weird conditions in people here in the United States. Are you seeing the same types of conditions in Europe, and how can people mitigate these negative effects?
Die Grenzwerte, zumindest mal früher, waren die in Amerika bei 200 Nanotesla und auch in Russland. Beispielsweise in Deutschland liegen die bei 100.000 Nanotesla.
The radiation threshold in USA and Russia is an acceptable 200 nanotesla, whereas here in Germany they have permitted a ridiculous level of 10,000, 100,000 nanotesla.
Das heißt, wir haben wirklich gerade in Deutschland, in vielen Teilen Europas und vor allem in der Schweiz enorme Zuwachsraten von Tumoren.
That means here in Germany and quite a whole part of Europe and in Switzerland we do have an increased rate of tumor.
Und 35% zugenommen. Ja.
Yeah.
Und wenn man zum Beispiel die Entwicklung bei Kindern sieht, also das Kind gerade bis zum 7. Lebensjahr hat die 5- bis 8-fache Strahlungsintensität wie ein Erwachsener.
So if you take the case of children up to 7 years of age, they are 5 to 10 times more prone to the radiations than adults. In case of adults, in case we are having a telephone call for 5 minutes time, there is a disruption of our body system 169 times.
Arbeitsgruppen zerstören wir da.
We are destroying our proteins.
So,
169 times.
das heißt, der Körper braucht mindestens 20 Minuten, um im Prinzip hier wieder rauszukommen.
So, in order to get back to the normal situation, our body needs a 20 minutes rest from all kind of mobile devices.
Also deshalb sage ich, es reicht unserer Ansicht nach nicht aus, auch wenn wir schon, denke ich mal, wirklich die modernsten Chips haben, sondern es wurden dann weitere Dinge entwickelt.
So, this is the reason why I say just aluminum chips are not enough to mitigate the effects of electrosmoke. For that we have developed new kinds of methods.
Ja, das Problem ist, wie bekomme ich den Mensch im Prinzip aus diesem pathologischen Sequenzen heraus?
So the question is, how do I get this particular person out of this pathological situation?
So, und die gehen im Prinzip durch alles durch jede Wand, ja, auch die lassen sich nicht durch Blei abschirmen.
So it means these radiations are not, walls are not a barrier for these radiations.
Das heißt, wir müssen dann ebenfalls, man kann sagen, also Gegenskalarwellen entwickeln. Das machen wir mit einem sogenannten offenen Schwingkreis.
That means we have to fight against these scalar waves.
Man macht es mit einem offenen Schwingkreis, also mit einer offenen Spule.
Yeah, that means we have to work with an open swing.
You know, Professor, I know we've just scratched the surface on the work you're doing, and we're going to point people to the 3 informational videos you guys sent me earlier in the month so people can learn more about the kind of work you're doing. I know we've just scratched the surface, and it's pretty technical information, and we've had, the translation issues. But thank you for joining us on the Infowars Nightly News, and best of luck in your future work.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the chance you have given us to introduce our concept.
Great, thanks. All right, that's it for the Infowars Nightly News. Join us back here at 7 p.m. Central tomorrow night. Rob Dew reporting. Thank you for watching.
Dr. Group joins us for the balance of this hour to talk about solutions. We have them up every couple of weeks. We have been trying to launch this for the last year. We got all of the organic ingredients to do it. And we've come up with a new Living Defense Harmful Organism Cleansing dietary supplement, and it is extremely affordable. It is brimming with the capsules. And the way I read the facts, this could do a cleanse for really a family of 4 or 5 people. Dr. Group, let's just get into the product now and then into parasites themselves, what folks really want to hear about in the next segment. But thank you for developing this for InfoWarsLife.com. Tell us about Living Defense and why it's so special.
Well, it's really special because it's part of the problem that we're dealing with today. When the earth becomes sick and the earth soils become acidic and the internal bodies become acidic because of all the toxic food in the air and the beverages that people are consuming, it sets up an environment that's ripe for harmful organisms to live, either on the earth. That's why a lot of the plants are infested with harmful organisms, or inside the body. And years ago, we linked every single disease process to an overgrowth of organisms in the body. And when people hear the word parasite, which the FDA does not like us to use, they actually came down on us and made us take the word parasite off everywhere, because we were exposing what the globalists have been doing, spreading these parasites and creating this environment, which is great for them to live in for years and years and years, because they know they drain us of energy, they make us sick. So we had to actually change the word parasite to harmful organism. And when we talk about harmful organisms, it's the definition, actually, the medical definition of parasite is any harmful organism that lives off of a host mechanism. Most people just think parasites are worms, but harmful organisms are bacteria, viruses that you can get through flu shots, funguses, yeast. We literally have an epidemic going on right now with molds and fungus and yeast living in everybody's body.
This is something that I heard about over a decade ago. I didn't really believe. I did one of these cleanses or invasive organism or harmful organism cleanses. It really hurt a lot, but it did do a lot. With this was not painful like some other cleanses I've done. The product is available at InfoWarsLife.com. I've always read and heard that just one of the ingredients, black walnuts, is really good at flushing parasites, and that, animals out in the fields eat them and stuff to naturally do this. We do cleanses on our dogs, our cats, our horses, our cows. Why not us?
Well, because they don't want you to know about that you need to do a parasite or a harmful organism cleanse. That's the thing. It's so secretive. And when we were doing our research into the root cause of every single disease, there's been plenty of proof.
The statistics are clear. 9 out of 10 people are infested with harmful organisms like parasites. Parasites can be transmitted by people, pets, food, and the environment, and so many other sources. Once parasites have made it inside your body, they steal your nutrients and release toxic waste. They use the bathroom inside of you. It's time to start eliminating toxic and harmful organisms from your body. Introducing Living Defense, the new harmful organism cleanser by InfoWarsLife.com. Living Defense uses wild-crafted and organic herbs to help naturally cleanse harmful organisms from the body. We are expected to sell out of this very, very quickly. This is our limited first-time run. So visit InfoWarsLife.com today to try Living Defense today while supplies last.